Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Today's guest, Lynsie Olsen. She's a female barber. We talked about everything, y'all. We talked about what it's like to work around men as a female in a male dominated industry, how she fares against other barbers, and just it's not easy being a woman. And I know I watch a lot of true crime, but it's not easy being a woman. We are targets, so we talked a little bit about that, and does she ever get icked out, all of those kind of things. And she was so lovely. She went beyond my questions with her profound, insightful answers, which you guys will see. And she's so young. She's 22 years old. And I thought, based on her story, that she was older than that. So that is so nice to see, being so young and already established. Amazing. I'm not going to keep you too long today. I just want to say thank you to all who watch, subscribe, review, comment, all of the things to support the show. To all who engage, thank you so much. I am growing day by day, and it's all thanks to you. Alrighty, enjoy the episode.
Hi, I'm Lynsie Olsen, co-owner of Lux Barber Studio in Scottsdale, and you're watching Trendy with Allison.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trendy with Allison. I have Lynsie Olsen. She may not be all over your feed, but don't let her following count fool you, because she is a very skilled female barber with precision cuts, clean beard work, and classic straight razor shaves. She brings a level of care and craftsmanship that keeps her clients coming back. So, are you ready to get inspired, everyone? Lynsie, welcome to the show. And it's
Thank
Lynsie
you.
Olsen. I don't even
Yes,
think I
thank
said your
you.
last
Oh,
name.
you're good. I think you did, but thank you.
Oh, perfect.
Thanks
How
for
are
having
you?
me. I'm doing super good. How are you?
I'm great. And I know you work with a partner. She wasn't able to join us today,
Yeah,
but I'm happy to have you here.
for sure. She's actually out of town right now, but
Oh,
she is also just co-owner of the business. She's awesome. Her and I have been working together for, I think, over 3 years now, which is kind of crazy.
no, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So let's get into your journey here.
Yeah.
Like I said, I find a lot of people on social media.
Mhm.
And that's the only place I can really go fishing, right?
For
Because
sure.
it's the world is on
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
So, yeah, and I find that hairdressers mostly live on Instagram over
Mhm,
all the platforms. I feel that's the most popular one when I kinda ask,
for sure.
where they spend most of their time. So, you don't have a big online presence, but
Mhm.
clearly you're booked for a reason. So, how did you get started in barbering?
So, I actually started as just a cosmetologist, and not, like, just a cosmetologist, but, I wanted to do women's hair, and I did it for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years, and I just, like it wasn't for me, like, I liked parts of it,
Mhm,
but I just
mhm,
started to get kind of, like, burned out, I guess, is the right
mhm.
term, and I had a mentor that I worked with when I first moved to Arizona, and he only specialized in cuts, but he did, like, women's cuts, men's cuts, and he kinda put me onto barbering and hooked me up with, like, another mentor, so I got to learn from multiple people, and it was super nice, and I was like, "This is what I wanna do." And sorry, my dog.
No, your dog we've had cats walk across
Yeah.
the screen. I mean, you know what?
Think
This is
someone
virtual. We're not even gonna pretend like it's gonna be perfect. I mean,
Yeah,
come on,
always gotta have some sort of background noise. But yeah, that's kind
Exactly.
of what was my
Who was
learning.
who was your mentor?
Dana Fraze, and he is in Phoenix. I don't know what salon he's at now, but he definitely uses Instagram, so shout out to him.
Yeah, definitely, because I
Yeah,
love finding new guests,
for
so that's
sure,
why I
yeah,
always ask. Did you
definitely.
always know you work with men's hair, or did that come later? I guess you just answered that
Yeah,
kind of.
it
You did
definitely
you when did it click
Yeah.
that it was gonna be men's hair, though?
It's really funny because, like, when I was in cosmetology school, I used to hate when I would get, like, men's clients, and my cosmetology school is in a small town where there's, like, not a lot of barber shops or hairstylists in, like, the in anywhere, so we got a lot of clients in our cosmetology school, and a lot of like construction workers would come in that were like nearby. So I got a lot of men there. And I honestly like was not the biggest fan. Like I would always be
Hilarious.
like, "Ugh, like I want to do something fun. Like, why do I keep getting these?" And it's really funny because then once I was like exclusively doing women's hair, I was like, hey, I kind of miss doing the like
Yeah, I
men's
like the
hair. It's
men.
just like quick in and out. Gio, you need to stop. But
Where
yeah,
are you
that's
from,
kind of
Lindsay? Where did you get where are you from? Like, where'd you go to beauty
I'm
school?
so sorry. Welcome, Gio. I am from Bozeman, Montana. Well, outside of Bozeman, but Bozeman is where I kind of like lived and started doing cosmetology. And I'm from a tiny town called Gallatin Gateway, but Bozeman is a little more recognizable. People have been there.
Well, that's Yellowstone, right?
Yeah, it's like if you're going to Yellowstone, you'd fly into Bozeman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
you were saying that you shifted with men, you hated doing men, and
Yeah.
then you had strictly women, and then you missed doing the men.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting switch. And then once I got into straight razoring, that's when I really like it kind of clicked, I think, because that was just so satisfying to me and so fun. And like doing beard work and all of that, I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. And then I kind of found a way to tie doing the hair in with it because I mean, doing fades is so fun, like blending. And once you figure it out, I feel like you kind of get the flow of it and it becomes just like art in a way. Like, I just feel like I'm painting a head.
You know, it's terrifying, actually.
Yeah,
Straight razor and fades are not
for
my
sure.
strong
It's definitely
suit.
not for everyone.
Oh my gosh, and I commend anyone that can dive into that and do that all day. I'm
For
telling you,
sure.
that is a skill set, and I remember the pivot in the industry because there was a time where barbering, it just wasn't at the forefront of,
For sure.
hairdressing. It was kinda like an afterthought
Mhm.
and, kinda boring, right?
Yeah, that's how
You
I
you're
felt about it too, for sure. It was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we're just doing, like, buzz cuts and, like, crew cuts and the same thing over and over," like
And who was it? Was it American Crew, that product line that came out that kind of
Mhm.
brought it? Because I don't think it started with the clipper companies. I think it started
Yeah,
with the product line, like a
for
men's
sure.
product line. What do you
Yeah, I
remember
can
the
agree
shift?
with that because I think they really put a lot of money into advertising and getting, like, celebrities in their, like, commercials and everything, and that definitely like, I remember my dad has, like, no hair, but I remember him buying, like, American Crew and, like, the Ruzel and all of that, like, I remember that so vividly, and I think now it's just, like, social media, like you were saying, there's a lot of barbers really, like, gaining a lot of following on there. I mean, the product line we use, Statement, is created by, a lot of, like, influential barbers that just
Oh,
partnered with some manufacturer, I'm sure, but it's a lot of barbers that I see on Instagram, and they have made a super successful product line that I use. I know a lot of other barber shops in the valley use as well, but I just think
oh,
that's
that's
super cool too
interesting.
now.
I've not
Yeah.
heard yeah, I've not even heard of Statement.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's super cool. Smells really good, all natural. We love it. Our
Oh, that's
clients love
awesome.
it. It's great.
Who's your favorite barbering or barber influencer?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Does
I
one
would have
stand
to, like,
out over
look
the
at my
other?
Instagram to, like, double check the name, but there's this one guy in England that I love his content, and he also it's so funny because I swear I get so many pictures of him from clients for, like, haircut references, and it's him,
Ah.
like, it's not his haircuts, it's, like, his hair.
Oh, it's him. So
Yeah,
whoever his barber is,
yeah, I'll have to
unless
find
he does it
it, but
himself.
I mean, maybe. I've worked with some barbers who cut their own hair, which is so impressive. I don't know how you would do that, but
I've had 2 barbers on the show,
oh,
one
yeah.
in New York and one that is here. Yeah,
Mhm,
uh-huh, and it's fun talking to barbers
for
because
sure.
as a cosmetologist, one that does strictly women's hair, I do some
Mhm.
men, but it's not, I do
Yeah.
mostly women. We thought we were like it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we look down on you.
That's
And
so funny.
now barbers are like right there. They're doing
Mhm.
like intricate, beautiful work.
Mhm.
and it's more creative than ever before. Men now care about aesthetics. They didn't
It's
before.
amazing. It's crazy how that's, like, the new trend too, like, even with my younger clients, like, my high school clients, it's like, never in my life, like, when I was in high school, boys didn't care about their hair, like, they did
Oh,
not care
mm.
about what they looked like at all, and now I have, like, these young men who are, like, so, like, they get their hair cut at least every 2 weeks, or, like, they're on the dot with their appointments, they use product, like, they want it to look good, I'm like, "I love this, I love that this is a
Yeah.
new thing."
Well, women were the only ones that got their hair done.
Yeah.
Now boys get their hair done. I'm like, I
Exactly, and
love
it's
that.
becoming more of a treatment too, like, I love like, we do facials, and then obviously, like, I don't think a lot of people realize, but when you get a straight razor shave, it's, like, basically, like, the male equivalent of a facial, like, you get a little face massage with the aftershave, we use a steamer, like, you get hot towels, we do a whole thing, so it's, like, men are using self-care, and I love it. It's so
They
awesome to
gotta
see.
keep up because shoot, the women are
Yeah,
starting to look younger. They're like, "Shoot, I gotta keep up." Like,
exactly.
but men always look good, even if they do
Yeah,
nothing. They look better
exactly.
older, in my opinion.
It's just how it goes, unfortunately.
It is.
And, like, sometimes when I see men, I'm like, "How do you have, like, the best hair and, like, the best, like, skin? Like, how does
Eyelashes,
this happen?"
eyebrows,
Like,
not the best
not
skin, like,
fair.
still not fair.
Yeah.
Lindsay, what's it been like carving your own space as a woman in a male-dominated industry? Because you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There are few of you than there are men who are
Mhm.
barbers.
Definitely. I think, honestly, I have been so lucky in, like, my process where I have worked with so many women. So, when it does feel like it is a male dominated space in other aspects, I feel like in my environment, it hasn't been. So, like, the last barber shop that I worked at, me and Lauren, my co-owner, we were both assistant managers there. And I think in the entire, like, 2 years I worked there, 2 years she worked there was maybe 3 men in total who, like, worked through the barbershop where we had, like, 10 chairs. So, it was always, like, women, and it was so nice, like, it was such a great environment, like, all of us were supportive, like, if you needed to borrow something, here you are, if you need help with something, like, we're always there, and, like, it was really, really nice because that's kind of was the first real only barbering job I had as well, so it was, like, such a great introduction because those were the girls, like, teaching me how to straight razor and teaching me how to do the beard trims and things like that, and then by the time we had men working there, it was, like, I was kind of in charge with them, which was weird because 'cause they're, like
You're like, "I'm your
yeah,
boss."
it was weird. I was like, "Oh, this is such an interesting, like, space." But working with the men was great too, like, they were super fun, and I'm sure it was intimidating for them coming into a barber shop that was, like,
Well,
99%
and your customer base, they probably like that you guys were all hot chicks. They
yeah.
like that.
And it also helps too, I think a lot of men, like, especially when you're getting, like, the facials or the waxing and stuff like that, they're not really comfortable with another man touching them like
That
that,
is true.
and
That
I
is
feel like
true.
that it
Not
helps
heterosexual
transition them
men.
into it.
They most heterosexual men are they're like,
Exactly.
No, I want that woman touch."
Exactly, yeah, and it's just, like I don't know, I get it. I would feel weird if I had, like, a man or, like, touching my face too, so
No, you're right. I mean,
yeah.
hey, it is what it is, and people make it more than what it is
Oh, for
in our
sure.
society these days, and it's like, okay, just because you don't say it doesn't mean people aren't thinking it.
No, exactly, and I've had men straight up say that to me where they're like, "Yeah, I just don't like getting my hair cut by men," and, like, that's fair. I
Yeah,
respect
that's fair.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Have
Mhm.
you so before I move from that topic, because
Yeah.
something came to mind, you said that you were in an all women environment. I
Mhm.
actually worked with a girl years ago. We started at Tony& and Guy,
Oh,
and
I love
she opened her own salon as we all were opening salons with
mhm.
mostly women's haircuts and some men,
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
sprinkles. She actually opened probably one of the first all-male salons.
Really?
Uh-huh, and she's still there. She's in Old Town,
Oh.
like on Old Town where Olive and Ivy is?
Mhm. Yeah.
She's on that same row
Okay.
between Sauce and Olive
Oh,
and
that's amazing.
Ivy.
great location.
Yep. And so shout out to Tammy. She's still
Mhm.
killing it, but she was one of the first all male salons.
Yeah.
It has to be going on 20 years plus by now.
Mhm.
So
That's
that's cool.
amazing.
Yeah. So in your salon with all women, what was, because I didn't know all women barbering even was a thing
I know.
until more recent. So what was the
Yeah.
longest standing stylist? How long had she been doing just barbering as a woman in your environment?
So Jen, shout out to Jen, still talk to her, still love her, but she was our manager, Mama Jen, and she had been doing hair for I think like 30 plus years, but just barbering for I think like 5 or 6. Like
Okay. So yeah,
it
it
was
is kind of
incredible.
new then.
Yeah. And then there was other girls there that also still did women's hair. So they would work at our shop like 3 days a week, go work at another shop 2 days a week and do women's hair. Like we had one girl who she was doing extensions and like working at some big salon in like Gilbert, I think. And then she would come and work like one every other Saturday for us because she just had clients that like loved her so much and she wanted to make sure that they still got it, which shout out to her. But like she was still just doing women's hair. And yeah, I think like Lauren and I always did men's hair, or didn't always do men's hair, but we only did men's hair. I'm trying to think of everybody else. There was a
No,
lot
I
of
think that's
there, yeah.
cool. Yeah, because I feel like it's fairly new, like
Mhm.
within this past decade.
For
That
sure.
it wasn't always a thing. And
Mhm.
go and yay for us women.
For
We're getting
sure.
ready to jump into that space and
Yeah.
probably take that
Like if
too.
men can do women's hair, we'll do men's hair. Who cares?
And that right? Why not? I wonder why it wasn't done sooner, right?
I agree.
Have you ever had someone underestimate you, speaking of all of that, and then you realize you could outfade half the room? Like, these men, like, "Oh, I got this." Do you know what I
Um,
mean? And then here
yeah,
you
no, I
come and you're
definitely know what
like,
you mean. I think I've had that in some contexts, like not necessarily in the barbering world, I don't think.
"Oh,
Like I guess I've definitely had clients, I think, when they first come in who are a little bit like apprehensive. Is there like, who's this girl? Like this like what is she gonna do? And they want like a bald fade or something that's like maybe a little more barbering than they would expect me to be able to do. And I think they're usually like, oh, cool, like that's awesome. And
yeah."
that's always nice. Like I love when people are like clearly surprised that I like actually did what they wanted me to do.
I love that. So it's
Yeah,
more the clients who underestimate you more
yeah,
than your fellow, barbers.
for
I
sure.
like that. And
Yeah, I've
and
been
and
lucky
it's
to always be around very like supportive coworkers. I know that's not always the case for people, but I have been very fortunate in that aspect, I feel like.
No, that's very creative,
Yeah.
or that's very important in the creative,
Mhm.
space, that
For sure.
your head is clear of
Mhm.
any toxicity and you
Yeah,
can focus on your work, you
for
know what
sure.
I mean?
It's already
How
such like an anxiety driven job. Like you do not want to have more anxiety from the people around you.
you do not. That
For
is so
sure.
true. How
Mhm.
do you build trust with new clients, especially those who may not be used to a female barber? Like, how is it just proving yourself in the work, like what you just said, or do you have
Yeah.
to take any extra steps that maybe a male doesn't have to take?
I feel like obviously proving myself with my work, but I think one of the main reasons that I have kept such a loyal clientele and like been able to get so many referrals is just talking to people and like remembering things. Like if you came in like 2 months ago, I don't know how my brain works, but like I will remember what you told me you were gonna do. Like I'm like, oh, you guys are going to San Diego, right? Or like, oh, you were like the second I see someone's face, I'll be like, oh, that's what they were talking about last time they came in. You know what I mean? And I feel like if somebody comes back, even if it's just like their second time, and I can remember like one tiny detail of what they told me, they're like, oh, like she actually like cares about me. And usually I've been working on it and trying to get better. But like for my regular clients, I know their haircut. Like they don't have to tell me what they want. They come in, I do it. And then for new clients, I try and be like, oh, you got a 1.5 like taper last time, right? And they're like, oh yeah, that's exactly like I'll try and remember their haircut as well. That way they don't get nervous because I think consistency is like the number one thing that you need in barbering because men like to look the same. Like they want their
Oh,
haircut to
that
look
is
the
so
same.
funny and so true.
Yeah. So like if you can remember how they like their haircut and you don't have to like, I don't know, they don't have to re-explain it to you and they liked it the last time, like that is all you need truly, I think. Cause what's better than that? Like going in and just being like comfortable that you know you're gonna get what you want and it's gonna be consistent and you're gonna get the same service every time you come in. And also you're gonna have somebody who like actually remembers you and like wants to continue conversation and stuff like that too.
Yeah, that's a great way to build trust. You're
Mhm.
absolutely right. When people remember your name, like if
Yeah,
you go to your favorite restaurant and
for
somebody
sure.
remembers your
I know
name
you feel
because
so
you go
special. You're
you're like,
like
"Oh my god." Do you know my drink? Okay, give me
yeah.
my, I like my eggs, egg
Mhm.
whites, whatever it is.
For
And
sure.
I relate to what you were saying about remembering the haircut or details
Mhm.
that just pop in your brain. Like
For
over
sure.
the years, I've heard so many clients tell me like, "Wow, you have a good memory." I'm like, "But I don't have a good memory. I
Yeah.
just
I do
remember
in this
when I parted your hair. I remember the back of your head more than I do your
Mhm.
face
Yeah.
or your name." You know what I mean?
No, it's
And I
so funny.
remember when I took this section, you were telling me your son was going to college. I don't even know why it's
Yeah.
your muscle has memory.
No, exactly, and it's like, I will be looking at, like, my day and be like, "Oh," because I have my regulars who have been coming to me for years, like, once a week, and obviously, those guys, I remember everything because 'cause I'm seeing them once a week, but my, like, once a month or, like, those people, sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, what's that name? Like, who is that?" And then the second they walk in the door, I'm like, "Oh, it's that guy." Like,
Yes,
just to remember
yes,
everything.
that's so
So,
cool.
yeah, it's crazy how your brain works like that, though, especially when you're working, like, with you doing hair too. It's like, once you're in it, you're like, "Oh, yeah, that, yeah."
I
That's what they're for.
know, and they're like, "Oh my god, I'm surprised you
Yeah,
remember that." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I don't remember everything. I just
yeah.
remember literally that, what I do."
For sure.
So your work speaks for itself, as I've told the world, because 'cause
Mhm.
I've seen it
Thank you.
myself. So let's get into that. I'm gonna share your work as well here in a few, but let me ask you this, what service do your clients rave about most? Is it the fades, the beard work, or those, clean razor finishes that you do?
I would say the razor, just because of
Mm,
the experience of it.
mhm.
Like, I do, like, a little neck massage, we have, like, all these
Mm.
I mean, with aftershave, if you really want to not have any, like, bumps or anything, I use, like, a spray alcohol aftershave, and then I use, like, a cooling aftershave as well that's more of, like, a moisturizer. So when I put that on, I'll do, like, a neck massage if I'm doing straight razor on the neck, and then on the face, obviously, do a little face massage, make sure it gets all in there, do some beard oil. So I think it's, like obviously, it looks good, but it makes you feel so good too because you just, like, come out of it and you're like, "Oh, wait, that was awesome." And, like, I feel like all of my clients who get that, I get the most compliments on for sure.
Oh, that's amazing. Do you ever have, because my creepy brain who loves true crime, and I
Yeah.
get kinda icked because it's so scary to be a woman in this
Mhm.
world sometimes, you know? Do you ever get, like, ick on anybody, you know? Because when you talk about
Yeah.
touching men and rubbing shoulders, some men,
Yeah. Some people are
you know
weird.
what I mean? I'm not even gonna say the word because 'cause it'll be
No, for
lewd,
some people
but
are very weird, and I would say I've been very lucky because I have talked to some friends in the industry, and honestly, surprisingly, mainly back home in Montana, which you would think it would be more here because it's a bigger population, but I've heard some crazy stories. I really haven't had any, like, I had some weird moments in cosmetology school where, like, I had to do pedicures, and, like, men would come in for pedicures and would, like, be very weird.
yeah.
And that was honestly the most of it. I've been hit on at work, like, at the old barber shop a lot. At our new spot, like, I own it, and if I'm uncomfortable, like, I will ask you to leave. So,
Good for you.
I don't really get that at our location now. I've had it happen one time, but it wasn't even a client. It was some guy walking by while I was doing somebody else's hair, and he, like, came into the shop, and I, like, asked him to leave because it was weird, but that was the one time that happened at Palette Collective. At the old shop, I just got, like people had asked for my number, it'd be weird sometimes, but it was never anything bad, luckily. Had to
No,
work.
I mean, it's a delicate dance as a
Yeah.
woman, when you're
Mhm.
in the position that we're in, where we are so personal. We're so
Yeah,
intimate because
for
when you have
sure.
to touch somebody,
Yeah,
that's a different level of communication, right?
exactly, yeah.
So I know that, you know, not to toot my own horn, but if you're kind of cute, you
Mhm.
know, sometimes that's why they're in your
Yeah,
chair.
for
You
sure.
know that, and you got to work it because it's
Mhm,
also building your business
mhm.
while at the same time you don't want to be creeped out. You
Yeah,
don't want that line of disrespect crossed,
for
although the compliments feel good
sure,
because you
right?
can tell they like you, kind of, right? And you're like, I mean, I don't know.
Mhm.
It's a weird, interesting dance.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I feel like it's that age-old thing where it's like, she's just doing her job, she's not into you, you know what I mean? Like, it's like,
Right.
she's just being nice.
Yes.
You like, this is a customer service interaction, this isn't
Yes.
me
Yes. Yes.
flirting, you know? But I think a lot of it, like you said, like, I think compliments and stuff like that is fine, like, I think I am lucky because a lot of my demographic is, like, I feel like they're, like, fathers and, like, grandfathers, and, like, they're very sweet, like, I never feel like if they're complimenting me, I never think of it in, like, a derogatory way, like, it always feels very, like, genuine, like, "Oh, sweetie, you look great today," like,
Not
some
like in a Bill Belichick-y kinda way.
exactly, like, I
Oh.
definitely no, exactly. Like,
Oh.
all of them are very cool, and I'm very lucky too, like, a lot of my clients, like, I do cut their kids' hair, like, I know their wives, like, I have Scottsdale's, like, it's a city, but it feels like a small town in a lot of ways
Oh,
where I feel like I'm
100%.
running into my clients on the streets, and I feel like genuinely I know their families and they're, like, great people, you know what I mean? So, I've been very lucky where I never feel weird about that, and I honestly don't think like, yeah, whenever I get compliments, it's always very, like, sweet in my opinion, like, that's how I take
Oh,
it.
absolutely, and that's why I say it's a dance
Mhm.
because, I don't like the way I
Yeah.
don't like where the world is, where a
Mhm.
man can't even be a man. It's
Yeah,
like
like, who doesn't wanna be
if they're
complimented?
attracted to
Yes,
women, why
bro.
can't they give them a compliment without being called a
Exactly.
creeper. I mean, we
Mhm.
still need that.
Yeah.
I have sons and grandsons.
Yeah.
I have all boys. I want that for them. I don't want
And
them
it's so
to
nice, like,
have
as
to
long as
work.
people are being creepy, like, recently, I was
Yeah.
at a gas station and a guy walked up to me, and he was, like, an older guy, but he walked up and he was like, "Miss, I just wanna tell you you look very beautiful today," and walked away, and I was like, "That was so sweet, like, you just made
And
my
I
day." That was
bring
not
it
creepy at
on.
all, like,
Bring it on.
I was, like, smiling like, "Oh, thanks," like
I mean, all of the old men over my lifetime that have called me brown sugar, I'm like, "Okay, sure.
like,
Thank
"Bring it
you.
on."
Brown sugar." I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't."
For sure.
So let's get into your work and
Mhm.
show people why they come to you. It is for your skill set. Not only are you beautiful, but
Thank you.
you are skilled. So I'm gonna have you walk us through and I'm
Okay.
gonna turn off whatever audio because of the copyright stuff. They get on my
Oh,
nerve and they
yeah.
won't let me download my video. And so I'm like, you know what? I got your number. I'm not even
Okay.
gonna put it on there. Okay. So this is just a photo, a still.
Yeah. So
And that's a
this
nice little feathery taper cut.
I was gonna say this is a feather. This guy was trying to grow out his hair, and I think the last time I saw him, his hair was, like, past his shoulders, but he was going from, like, a classic, like, short haircut to wanting to grow it out, so I would just kind of feather it and blend it as he came in. But I just love this photo because I just think his hair looks so satisfying in
It
this.
does. It looks so wrapped. Like,
Right?
it just hugs
Mhm,
in the
and he
best
has, like, the
way.
perfect hair type for this cut as well, like, you can see his hair just is perfect texture for it, like, not too fine, not too coarse, but it just holds everything so well.
Yeah, and you do have to take out the right amount of weight as well because
Mhm.
he does have a lot of hair and it can go floppy, and the
Yeah,
fact that it's in place, that
for
is
sure,
definitely speaks to your texturizing skills.
and as you know, with blondes too, it's always a battle to try and get their hair to, like, blend into itself because there's just so many different colors within, like, a natural blonde.
It is
So,
true.
I remember every time he would come in for blending, I would just be like, "Feather razor, feather razor, feather razor," 'cause that's what I could do to make it work, but yeah. I forgot
No,
about this for a
that's
while.
awesome. All right, let's get into this one and, y
The part and everything. You
yeah.
hear me chatting in the background. Like, the
Yeah.
lighting isn't awesome in this one, but this is just kind of like a classic gentleman's. I This is one of my OG clients, he's been coming to me for years, but,
Mhm.
he always wants to do something so different, I swear, every
Uh-huh.
time he comes in, and I love that for him. So I try to when I cut it, like, I try and leave it because I know in a month he's gonna want something to be completely different. So here, I remember he asked me for a hard part, and I was like, "No, we're not doing a hard part." Like, I'm
Is it because it's out of style or just because you didn't think he should
so
have the hard part?
hard parts, in my opinion, are like bangs. Like, they're one of those things where once you do it, you're stuck with it for a little while. Like, if you hate it, like, that sucks. Like, it's gonna be there for a little while. And a true hard part, we have to razor in to make it look clean, so it's gonna take so much longer to, like, catch up to the rest of the hair if you wanna grow it out.
That is
And then
true.
as it grows in, as you know, it's like shaved, so it's gonna come out straight when the rest of your hair is long enough to go in whatever direction you want, but your hard part's just gonna stick up until probably, like, a month or 2 after you let it grow out, you know? So, that's one of those things where I'm like, if I have a lot of clients that have hard parts, and I love doing them, like, hard parts are very fun for me, but, if you want a hard part, like, that's gotta be something that you want and you're gonna keep forever.
Yeah, and like you said, he is not committed because he keeps
Yeah.
shifting.
Mhm.
So you're like, "Nah, you ain't the right candidate."
No, exactly, and I explained that to him. I remember being like, "I'll give you a part, but I'm not gonna etch it in," 'cause my friend always says what did she say? She was like, "Having a hard part and having bangs is like having a pet you have to take care of, like, you have to make sure it's, like, trimmed and looking good, or you just gotta let it go." And I'm like, "That's
Perfect
it's a great way to put
analogy.
it."
Perfect.
Yeah.
I never thought about that, but a hard part and bangs, yeah, they're
Mhm.
in the same family, aren't they?
Yeah, and to me, it's, like, the same thing because that's, like whenever guys wanna do that, I'm like, "Are you going through something?" Like, it's like, "No."
Oh. So
Like, "Is
you feel
everything
like
okay?"
it's an impulse, like, I just wanna let loose.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man, I forgot about the hard part era.
And that's
Um,
what I'm saying, like, it's usually caused by something because it's, like, the soccer or the super businessy people Gio, stop. Why you gotta do this? But, yeah, it's normally a catalyst for something, I guess, would be how you would say
you know
it.
what? I never thought about that either, but
Mhm,
you're right, like, women, when they're like, "Cut it all off," or, "I
mhm.
want bangs," it is usually, some type of shift,
Yeah,
breakup, something,
exactly.
you know?
Something.
Huh,
Hate your
interesting.
job, wanna, like, look different, like
Yes, all of that.
Yeah.
How do you keep up with trends? Like, because side parts, like I said, hard parts, I
Yeah.
believe those are going away because
Mhm.
I don't get any requests for
They're
those really
definitely
lately.
not popular anymore, I will say that for sure. I think trends, like, I love paying attention to the trends, and I love, like I feel like I don't use social media that much, but I'm very lucky I have a lot of, like, high school kids that come in, and they keep me
Yeah.
young, like,
I
they
don't you love that?
Yeah, and I don't have TikTok or any of that, but TikTok's awesome from what I've seen, and they'll bring me in, like, these videos, and it's a TikTok, and it's like the guy is fully showing you how to do the haircut, you know what I mean? Like, they're being like, "Oh, I use this here, I use this here. I did this section in here at this degree," or whatever, and I'll just be like, "Oh, perfect." Like, I just got a whole tutorial, and then I can see the end product, and then it's kind of like once you do women's hair, once you learn the basis of everything, you can kind of add it together and kind of if I see an end result, I can usually figure out how to get there just based off of all the other haircuts I know. But, yeah, I mean, that's been amazing. The amount of times I've literally gotten a full lesson just from my client showing me a video, I'm like, "Whoa, okay."
I
Learned
mean,
some
there is that, and but there's also you can't watch your way to everything,
Oh,
you know
for
what I
sure.
mean?
And I would
Do you
not be
go to
able to, like, look at
classes
those
or you
videos, yeah.
Huh?
I would not be able to, like, get what I do from those videos if I didn't have all of the skills that I had already. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
you couldn't just watch that video and
And
with
be
no basis of how to cut hair and figure out what they're doing. Like, it makes sense to me. I can watch what they're doing because I know the steps that they were gonna take anyways, and I'm just seeing how they, like, you know what I mean, in that
I
regard.
totally know what you
Yeah.
mean. So you're not going out to classes and things like
Mhm.
that? You don't have are
I
you doing
have in the
do they
past.
have a lot of barbering classes that come to town?
Somewhat. I've gone to some of the Hanzo ones. They'll do, like, the barber they'll just, like, have it at some salon and you can go. And then I've done what was it? When I was still in cosmetology, I did the Masters of Balayage when they came here. I did that
Oh,
whole, like,
yeah.
weekend thing. And they had a couple barbers there and just, like, master cutters and everything. So I have done some classes.
How was that, by the way? I thought about going to that last year and I didn't. I think I was
Honestly, I didn't
traveling.
love it. I have to say. It wasn't for me. I will say I've learned a lot and I had a lot of fun in some parts of it, but I don't think I would do it again. Just because if I did hair like women's hair, then it would have been worth it for me. But I went to the one a
Got
couple
you.
years back when I was still doing women's hair before I had fully transitioned. So I was like kind of going for like both reasons, but it kind of felt
Mhm.
like I don't know how to say this. I felt like there was a lot of, like, inspirational speeches and stuff, which were very interesting, but I feel like there wasn't that much hair content.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was,
You
like, an
know,
expensive
I'm
thing,
not
so I was
loving
kind of bummed about
yeah,
that.
I'm not loving education these
Mhm.
days. I feel like there's a lot of, to your point, that's a great point that you made. I feel
Yeah,
like you're more selling yourself than you are teaching us, you
that's how
know?
it
It's like,
felt, and there was
what
a
about
lot of people I was
the
really
lesson?
excited to see, and they just gave, like, speeches about their lives, which was interesting, and I liked hearing about it, but I was like, "Dang, I paid a lot of money, and I was looking forward to learning from you." And, like, it is inspirational to hear people's, like, why they're so passionate and why they're so driven, like, obviously, that's something that we can all learn from, but when it's every single presenter was giving a speech like that, I was a little thrown aback for sure.
Yeah, you're like, "Is this a conference or is this
Mhm.
education? What are we doing?"
And I know so many people, like, flew in for it and stuff too, like, there was a lot of people I met there who were, like, from out of town, like, salons had all flown in for it, and it was
Ooh.
yeah.
Yeah, you
No
know,
shame though, 'cause I do love
I it's all because too of branding. Everybody has to brand themselves, all this
mhm,
stuff, you know, that
yeah,
has a lot to do with it, and
for sure.
I hate that for people who are still trying to grow in skill
Mhm.
set. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, and they charge a lot of money, and I found that when I do, I'll have an influencer that I follow and then
Mhm.
take a class, and this has happened to me now about 4 times, and I'm like, "Oh god, this is nothing, like, you gave me nothing.
Mhm.
You just did something real quick and promoted yourself the whole entire time." I'm
Exactly, and
like,
that's
"Oh my
even
god,
how I
I
feel
can't."
about the Onzo classes too, like, I feel like I did learn a lot from some of the presenters, but I don't know if you've been to a Hanzo class, but the entire time they're like, "Okay,
I
now I'm
haven't.
making this shear, and you can get it for $1,200 today." Like, as they're doing the cut, they're, like, switching shears and stuff and, like, showing you why you should buy this shear, which makes sense for them, it's a free class. So it's, like, awesome for us because you can learn through it, but I remember the first one I went to, they came to the salon I was working at the time, and a bunch of the girls, especially at the time I was, like, 18, all of us were, like, fresh out of cosmetology school, and a lot of the girls were buying them, and I was like, I saw right through that.
You're like, "Mm-mm,
Yeah,
you
and
ain't
I
getting
already had
me."
Hanzos. I was really lucky, my school, it was included in our kit, we all got Hanzos, so I already had them. And I had bought another brand of Japanese steel shears that I liked way more and were way better, and I used those instead, so I was like, "Why am I gonna buy these $1,200 shears?"
Is Hanzo, because I went to the Behind the Chair Trends show in Miami,
Mhm.
like, last month. Are they the ones with all the, kinda like everybody thinks the guys are hot and they have all these commercials? Is that them?
Maybe,
'Cause
I
there was
haven't
one
really looked at
guy
social
that
media in
name sounds
store.
familiar, and I'm so stupid because I
Yeah,
don't even know sheer names. I just know
yeah,
Arc and
mhm,
whatever. I've had my shears for so long,
mhm.
and I've spent so much money, and they're still really good that I don't get into all the different brands, and shame on me because I
Yeah.
specialize in cutting, but
Yeah. I mean,
let's
that's the
see.
thing though is that all you if your shears work, like, there's really I don't understand spending so much
Hello?
money on shears personally, and I think a lot of those shears, like Hanzo personally, I know girls who are on payment plans for those shears,
I
which is
know.
insane to me. I'm like, "That is you're paying more than you're paying for rent for, like, a pair of shears," which makes sense, I guess, it's your craft, it's your business, but I also know that Hanzo has had a lawsuit for not even having real Japanese steel, so it's like
Oh,
you're
damn.
gonna use these $1,200 shears instead of, like, a $500 brand that's gonna do the same thing, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
personally
ooh.
use Matsubi, that's my shear of choice,
Yeah,
and
you don't want,
they're
a
safety, like
lawsuit because that can take your whole damn business down, so I hope
yeah,
ooh, that would be
yeah.
horrendous,
I remember
and
reading
we'll
about
say
that, like, that's a big
alleged. It's alleged at this point until they're proven guilty, but yuck,
mhm.
yuck,
Yeah,
yuck
it's definitely alleged, but if you look it up, you can definitely find some documents on that, so
stuff.
read as you wish.
I go buy at your own risk.
No, exactly.
Yeah, so as we were talking about all of these influencers who are really just promoting their brand, but we're trying to learn and they're trying
Mhm.
to promote because 'cause they're making money, which I understand it all,
Yeah.
but,
We all
we
gotta
are
pay the bills.
yeah, we get the short end. So with that said, since you're not heavily online, how do you get most of your clients? Is it all, word of mouth?
Pretty much, yeah,
That's
honestly, I
good.
think well, I was really we were both Lauren and I were very lucky is when we started our business, we had such a loyal clientele already that we were pretty set when we first started, like, within our first month, we had 120 clients,
Oh, that's
like, in our
amazing.
shop. So, we honestly never really had to worry too much about our marketing or anything like that, and I realized
Do you feel pressure to do social media, or do you feel like, "I'm good"?
honestly, I n don't.
Okay, okay.
I It's funny because 'cause I'll get into moods, like, recently I, like, filmed s one of my services, and I was like, "Maybe I'll post this," and then I, like, go through my phone, and I have so many times I filmed stuff, and I just never post it, but I've never like, all of my clients that I've had new are just word of mouth or people who just find us on, like, Google. We have really good reviews on both Google and Yelp and
Mhm.
Vagaro, our booking site and everything, so we really get most of our clients just through that. I do think about trying social media sometimes, but I'm just so inconsistent with it, like, I just can't bring myself to use it very often.
You know, I actually love that you look young, I don't know how
Yeah,
old you are, but I
I'm
love that
22.
oh, you are young. Good
Yeah.
gracious. So, 22? Is that what you
Mhm.
said?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's you're crushing it. Oh my god, I'm even more
Thank
impressed now
you.
that you said that. But I love that you're 22 and
Mhm.
that you've been able to build without social media because social media is such a beast and we get chained to
Yeah,
it, excuse me, and we feel like a slave, like enslaved to
yeah,
it. You know,
it's
like, "Oh
crazy.
my god, if I don't post, I'm irrelevant, and if I don't post, nobody's gonna know I exist.
Mhm.
If I don't post," but we forget to your point about Google.
Yeah,
Google is huge. It's
yeah,
bigger than social media, I would even argue.
exactly, yeah,
Everybody Googles, but not everybody uses social media.
for sure.
So, but people don't farm Google. I don't
Mhm.
think they farm it enough, you
It's
know?
like first one that gets clicked, like whatever's first, for sure. Instagram's definitely easier to, like, scroll through and pick things, that's definitely
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's
yeah.
awesome.
I
So
think it's
what
an age
advice
range too, like, because my clientele, I don't think most of them are on Instagram, like, my younger clients definitely, but I doubt, like, any of my regulars are on Instagram. I
well,
don't think it's possible.
word of
Yeah.
mouth is the best you could I mean, because that's real people looking at your work.
Mhm.
You
For
know,
sure.
it's not edited, it's just somebody looking at someone else and saying,
Mhm.
"Oh my god, who did your hair? Give me their number."
Exactly,
That is the best way, you know,
for
I
sure.
say, but you being 22, speak to the audience who are the next generation of hair. What advice would you give to barbers who wanna grow without chasing likes? Is that the advice that
I
you would
mean,
give
yeah.
them?
I think building your community is just so important. Like, I think something that my dad told me when I was first starting, especially in barbering, is he was like, people are gonna come to you because they love you. Like, they're not gonna, you could give them a crappy haircut, and if they love you, they're gonna come back. And that was always something I really like carried because obviously I want to give people good haircuts, not saying
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, exactly. I
um,
know what you mean.
yeah, I just think it's so important, like, having a smile on your face, asking like, even if I had the crappiest day of my life or, like, something is going on in my personal life, like, I don't care about that when I'm at work, like, I care about your haircut and I care about your day and, "Oh, did you guys just go to Disney?" Like, like, I'm just gonna completely throw whatever's going on in my life out the door and just focus on my people and, like, making sure that they're having a good experience, and I think that's so important as well as, like, consistency, I guess that's kind of the same thing, but just being consistent in your attitude, your service. I have a routine because I think it's a lot different with men's hair because I'm kinda doing the same things, like, even if it's a different cut, I'm still always gonna, do my wash the way I do my wash and do my aftershave the way I do my aftershave, and, like, it's gonna be the same service every time you come in, and you know exactly what you're getting and what to expect, and I think that's super important, and yeah, I'm trying to think what else. I think the, like, personal things we were talking about earlier, just, like, remembering things about your clients and, like, if you don't have a good memory, like, I've worked with people who literally keep, like, a little notebook where they'll, like, write things down about clients so they can remember, or you can if your system at your work has it, you can write it in their customer profile so you can be like, "Oh, this person's coming in today. What did we talk about last time? Oh, I wrote it down," and you can check, you know? That
Oh,
just
that's a
builds so
great
much
tip.
trust with your clients and, like, it just really makes people wanna come back to you because they feel like they know you and you do know them, like, I feel like
Yeah,
I'm great friends with half of my clients, like, I'm
yeah,
like
yeah,
I've been seeing, one of my clients the other day, I actually went and got he met my parents, like, him and
I
his
love
wife are,
that.
like, the same age as my parents, and, like, my dog, as you saw, he was in a wiener dog race at Oktoberfest.
I
And the client
can't.
and his wife came and my parents flew out for it, and we all were, like, getting beers together, all my friends were there, like, it was, like, so fun, and he said to me, he was like, "It's so funny because like, I feel like you're, like, my stepdaughter because I see you once a week for, like, the past 2.5, 3 years, like, I see you more than I see, like, my nephews," like, things like that, so it was just like, "Yeah, like, I do know you, I know your wife, I see her every Saturday," like
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm still in it after 28 or 29, maybe this
Yeah.
might be 29 years. It's the relationships.
Exactly. That's my thing.
There
I'm
you
like,
you
I love
can't.
my clients.
Yeah, because once you step away, they're gone.
Yeah,
That regular that consistency rather. It's
exactly.
gone, and you may hang on to some until you don't. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And
For
I'm just
sure.
not ready to give that up, but I
Right.
completely agree, and I agree with your dad that
Mhm.
you don't have to be the best hairdresser, you just have to be the most consistent, and
Yeah,
you have to have the best rapport,
for
because
sure.
if a client likes you, that's all they need. They
Mhm.
wanna go somewhere that makes them feel comfortable, that makes them feel seen and heard, and
Exactly.
they'll work with you on the skill.
For sure.
You know
And
what I
that's the
mean?
best thing too, like, when I was first starting, like, I definitely had some clients that I
Mhm.
wasn't the best, like, I was still learning, and they would just be polite about it, but be like, "Hey, last time, like, can you just take
Yeah.
it a little higher here, or can you just, like, do this around my ears or whatever," and it made me a better barber, and it also, like, built trust with those clients because they know that I'm trying and I'm learning and I'm, like, wanting to make it better each time.
Oh, yeah, it shapes you
For sure.
100% for sure,
Mhm.
and, there was something that you said. Oh, my I had a male client, like I said, I don't have a lot, I probably have
Mhm.
5 total, but, with over 2 I think I have over 200 clients.
Yeah.
So, I had a guy, he came in, he's from Albuquerque, he's from an and he moved here to Scottsdale,
Mhm.
and he's like, I won't even say their name because I don't wanna bust them out, but it's a very high-end salon that's had a reputation for many, many years in Scottsdale, in Arizona, period, The guy used to be on TV, all the things, but he's probably since retired. I don't know. But
Mhm.
he said, I wanted a good haircut. I don't know anybody, right? And
Yeah.
he said, I paid the most I've ever paid for the worst haircut I've ever had
Mhm.
with at that place. And he gave me the best review, and he said, "Oh my god, thank God, somebody that actually knows how to cut hair."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "God, you don't realize how many
It's crazy.
people don't know how until you hear the feedback from your clients."
It's crazy that people don't know how and are still accepting the clients. That's the craziest thing to me, because 'cause I've had a lot of clients like that myself who come in and are just, like, so upset with their haircuts, and they tell me how much they paid, and I'm like, if I did a service like this on someone and charged them that much, I don't think I'd be able to, like, sleep at night. Like,
I know.
how.
He paid for context, he paid $95.
Mhm. There's a lot
I'm
of
like,
really, like, big
"What?"
salons out here, and, like, there's some salons out here that I fully know, like, most of those people don't know how to cut. I worked at a big salon when I first moved here, when
Mhm.
I was still learning, and I know for a fact half of those people did not know how to cut men's hair and were still just
But just
in
chopping
the.
away.
Yeah, exactly,
Just
exactly,
chopping away.
like, insane.
Yeah.
It happens.
It does, but what you gonna
Mhm.
do, Willie?
Yeah,
Hopefully they find you and,
exactly.
and then all is well after that.
Yeah.
What before we move away from men's grooming, what real quick, what's a grooming myth that you wish more men knew? Or
Ooh.
that you wish more men would stop believing, I should say.
Huh, that's a great. Oh, this is, like, wild.
Okay.
You're not even gonna believe me, but the amount of men out there that think that they can make their hair curly, like, without like, I have my hair is in a clip right now, but I have naturally curly hair, and the amount of times I've had people be like, "How do I get my hair to look like yours?" And I'll be like, a perm," or, like, "You could curl it with a curling iron," and they're like, "No, like, product, like, something I can just, like, do when I want," and I was like, "That's not how it works, babes, like, that is not like, it's wild." I don't know
No,
I
I
don't know
agree.
if you're
I've
but
had
the amount of times it's happened is insane, like.
No, that happens literally across the board.
Yeah,
Men, women. I had an old assistant who had naturally curly hair because she was half Native American and half
yeah,
Black. Okay, she's gonna have beautiful, thick,
yeah,
curly hair. And my clients say, "Oh my gosh, how do I get my hair like hers?" My assistant's name was Missy. How do I get my hair like Missy's? I'm like, go back to being before you were born and make
yeah,
sure your mom is Native American and your dad is
yeah.
Black. I mean, you ain't
Or
gonna get
it's
it,
like
girl.
it's crazy, and it's, like, the same thing with people will show me pictures or something, and it's, like, a guy with dark brown curly hair, and they have, like, bleach blonde hair that's
Wispy.
straight, they want the same haircut, and it's, like, that's not gonna look the same on you, like, and they don't realize that, like, they just think they're like, "Oh, this looks really good," and I'm like, "It does look really good, but it's not gonna look like that on you at all," like, it's gonna
But
be.
you know what? That's where that's the misstep because
Mhm.
that's why there are so many bad, yeah, or
Yeah,
I shouldn't call them bad because I think we're all artists. We
yeah.
just have different
And some
vision.
people just wanna please, like, some people I get it too when you're first starting, it's hard to be, like feel like you're the professional even though you are, and be like, "Hey, like, I'm just letting you know this is not a good idea for you. Like, I know this is what you want, but this is not what's best for you." Like,
And
we
it's
can.
best for you
Yeah,
too to tell them it's not best for them.
exactly,
Because
yeah.
it's gonna be bad in the
Mhm,
end, and you're either gonna
exactly,
lose the client or lose your confidence, and you don't wanna do either one, right?
exactly, yeah.
Alrighty, so as we, wrap this up or move toward that, because
Mhm.
I know you have gifted me with your hour, and so I don't want to, hold you hostage, but what's been your proudest moment in the shop so far?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think it's just, like, the clients that make us feel so loved and,
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
amazing. Like, when we first started, the amount of clients that brought us gifts, like, I literally like, Lauren and I were crying. Like, we just felt so loved and supported. We even have, like we have a client that helps us do our accounting, like, we have clients that one of the
Oh,
videos I sent you that's all edited and done really well, like, one of our clients is a professional videographer, and he did those for us for free, like, we have just been so blessed, like, genuinely, I thank God every day, like, that we have these clients that, like, love us and support us and want us to succeed, and we try and do the same for them, like, we're the type, we're gonna give you a birthday card. We're gonna like, if I have my OG clients, if it's their birthday, I'll call them before their appointment and be like, "Do you want a beer? I'll go run and grab you a tall boy, like, for your appointment."
I
Like,
can't.
if
That's
it's
so
your birthday,
oh my
why not,
gosh.
you know, like
I love that.
yeah,
Well,
like,
that's why
just
they love you.
we try, we really do
You
try.
go you go the extra mile.
And they do so much for me too. I had a, like, legal battle years ago with my landlord, and one of my
Oh,
clients is his
no.
attorney and, like, did everything for me for free, like,
Oh, wow.
literally amazing people, and I'm so thankful for them and, like, everything that they do. So I think that's by far the most rewarding thing of
Oh
everything
my
is
gosh,
just
that shows it speaks to who you are,
yeah,
behind the chair and, the level of service that you give to your clients because they don't give, if they're
yeah,
not receiving,
for
you
sure,
know?
for
So
sure.
if they wanna help you like that, because 'cause I've had amazing clients over the years. In fact, one told me I could have her Peloton that she's
I
only
love
used once. I was like, "What?"
it.
She goes, "When are you coming to get it?"
I love
I'm
it,
sick of this thing. I'm like, "Wow, thank you."
right?
You know what I
No,
mean?
it's amazing. That's like my dog. I have a dachshund, they can't go up things. I had a client give me ramps for, like, my
Oh my
couch and
god.
my bed so that he can just, like, walk up there. I'm like, "That is the sweetest thing."
Oh
Like,
my
it's so
gosh.
nice. Like, "Okay."
I love that so much. So
Right?
what's next for you? Is it, would you ever wanna be an educator? Is it a salon? Is it or just perfecting kinda what you're doing?
Yeah. I mean, right now, I think perfecting what I'm doing is definitely most important. It's kind of hard because, like, I love where I'm at right now. Like, owning our own business has been so fun. We're on our 2nd year now. I've been loving living in Arizona. Like, I just feel so happy and content and grateful for my life right now. But I definitely don't wanna feel stagnant. So I'm sure eventually I'll get some inspiration to wanna do something different, but I don't know, I think right now I'm just so happy with what we have that I don't wanna, like, take it for granted and jinx it.
Yeah.
And I
No,
think
you
yeah.
go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna say maybe I'll get more into social media. I tell myself that all the time, like, I'll try and grow that side of the business as well. But, yeah, I think for now, I'm just trying to get our business all perfected. I'm always constantly changing our decorations. I don't know if you walk
Your
by, we have,
salon
like,
looks
photos
cute.
everywhere. Thank you. We have, like, the photo wall everywhere, and, like, every day I'm in there, like, moving things around, like, just reorganizing, cleaning, like, it is just our baby, and I'm so happy with what we have that yeah, for now, I'm just a happy camper, I guess.
No, I think you're doing a great job, and by
Thank
the
you.
way, my son just recently took over my social media, and
Oh,
he
yeah?
does an amazing job, so if you're looking
Oh,
for
yeah, I'll have to
someone
talk to
to
her.
help you with your social media, he is now turning it into a little business.
Oh, heck yeah. I'll have to ask him because I genuinely don't even know where to start. You see
Oh
my
gosh,
page, you think I have, like, 5 posts?
hilarious. Like,
Uh,
if you look at the last, probably 2 weeks of my posting, and
mhm.
he's good with the captions, he's so good at this. I don't even think he knew how good he was at it.
Yeah,
He's
that's
good.
awesome, though. That's a great skill to have, especially now. I'm
Yeah,
horrible
yeah,
at that.
for sure. Well, thank you so much,
Yeah,
Lindsay, for coming
thank
on,
you.
and your salon, I can attest, is beautiful. You are
So
super booked and busy. Literally every single day that I see you're open, and at
yeah.
22 years old, had I known that before, my mind is blown. You're gonna be something great. If not, you're already
Thank
great,
you.
but
You're so sweet.
you're gonna do something really special, I can already tell.
Oh my
So,
gosh, thank you.
keep going, and nobody gets out of here without my 60-second blowout, which is my rapid fire, where I'm
Okay.
gonna blast you with questions, and you give me the quickest answer you could think of, kinda like a one-word answer situation, and you have 1 minute to see how many of these you can
Okay.
get through.
I'm
Are you
nervous.
ready?
Let's
I think you're going to do good because
go.
nobody knows you better than you, right?
True.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go to snack between appointments.
Mangoes.
Most random thing in your car right now.
I have 2 giant rocks.
Bold brows or bold opinions.
Bold opinions. Why not?
The last thing that made you laugh out loud.
I've been watching Righteous Gemstones, and that made me laugh.
Oh my God, so funny. Razor in one hand, what's in the other?
Um, Probably my phone.
What makes you instantly roll your eyes, but in a loving way?
Probably when my sisters give me advice.
If you weren't a barber, what would you be doing?
Ooh, that's a good one. Probably I would be like a nomad, like a van life person.
What's your toxic trait? The funny kind.
I like to go out a lot, and yeah.
Favorite way to unwind after a long day?
A beer and hanging out with friends or a funny TV show.
Perfect. And to show us how humble you are, make your silliest selfie face.
Oh God, I don't know.
Ah,
That's my go-to.
I love that. No, you were great, Lynsie. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
Yes, thank you for having
lending
me.
me
This was
your
fun.
time. This was fun, and I know I'll see you at work.
Yeah, I'll see you at work. I'll be there today.
Yeah. Well, I won't. I'll see you tomorrow.
Sorry. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.